I'm always chasing rainbows, watching clouds drifting by. My schemes are just like all my dreams, ending in the sky. Some fellas look and find the sunshine. I always look and find the rain. Some fellas make a killing sometime. I never even make a gain, believe me. I'm always chasing rainbows, waiting to find a little bluebird in vain. Some fellas look and find the sunshine. I always look and find the rain. Some fellas make a winning sometime. I never even make a gain, believe me. I'm always chasing rainbows, waiting to find a little bluebird in vain. Good evening. I am Ethan. This is the No-Show for Friday. What are we on here? The 5th of July? Yeah, I would say so. The 5th of July. Gornamonts is licking my ankle and my foot. We got a little bit of a whistle solo there and then a rehash of the ending of the song. The song is I'm Always Chasing Rainbows from 1917. I'm always chasing rainbows. Words by Joseph McCarthy, music by Harry Carroll. That's an old favorite of the show. I'm always chasing rainbows. I'm always chasing a dream. Yeah, that's the idea. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you. Hello, Mary in Chicago. Hello, Neuro. Hello, Bella Lune. Hello, Richard. Hello, everybody. I'm going to have a sip of this little beverage I've prepared. It's instant coffee and some vegan hot chocolate powder, and then some almond milk. Honestly, it's not very good, I have to say. But it's warm. That's nice. I always dream I'm chasing something. That's funny. That's like the dog version of this. Like dogs are always dreaming of chasing stuff. The dog version of this song is I'm always dreaming of chasing rabbits, watching rabbits running by. Woof, 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 woof. Growl, growl, woof, woof, woof. All right, there it is. All right, hey, Astral. All right, I'm going to look up Harry Carroll. I've probably looked this up before, but I feel like looking it up again. So I was a little bit late tonight, which I'm very punctual. It's like clockwork. I'm here every night at 9, as the song says. I was at my cousin's place nearby for a little dinner, and I was experimenting with not running out too early. For 1 year now, I've left everywhere early to get to the show. I mean, not every night. A lot of nights I'm not anywhere, so I have nowhere to leave. But on the nights in the last year when I've been somewhere, I keep an eye on the clock and I make sure I'm home and in front of my computer to do the show. And tonight I thought, you know what? I'm going to push it back 15 minutes so I don't have to run out. But then in the end, you got to run out anyway. All right, Harry Carroll, 1892 to 1962. Oh, wow, look at this guy. You got to see the photo of Harry Carroll on Wikipedia. Harry with 2 R's, Carroll with 2 R's and 2 L's. It's a photo of Harry Carroll at age 19. He's wearing an amazing coat, which has a giant fur collar of some kind, and he's wearing a fedora. He's from Atlantic City. He died 70 years later. He was born in Atlantic City, died in Santa Barbara. I'm Always Chasing Rainbows, based on, as we said before, based on this section of the Fantaisie Impromptue by Chopin. By the Beautiful Sea. He toured with vaudeville star Anna Wheaton. Also. Harry Carroll. As a young guy, at just 20, he was hired by the Schubert Brothers Winter Garden Productions as a contract writer. He married a Rockette in 1921, divorced 13 years later. Then he married a dancer. They had 2 children. All right. He was inducted into 8 years after his death. He was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. He's the only composer with 2 songs in the Hall of Fame's list of the top 100 popular songs. Wow. Harry Carroll. Hey, Dawn. Oh, hey, Max. Max is back. Maxwell Edison. Nice to see you. We were just talking about the composer, Harry Carroll. Please go on Wikipedia and look at this guy's photo. It's just fantastic. He's got a great hat and a coat. It's a photo from 1919. All right. I'm always chasing rainbows, watching clouds drifting by. This is one of those rare songs where a person is basically kvetching about how things don't work out for them. There's a little bit of hope at the end of the song because he says, waiting to find his little bluebird, but then he says, in vain. It's a downer. Lyrically, it's a downer. I think melodically, it's not a downer. It's kind of it's a little bit maudlin. It's a little sad, but I don't know. There's something a little bit cheerful lurking in that melody. I'm always chasing rainbows, waiting to find the little bluebird in vain. I think that reference to a little bluebird is the bluebird of happiness. I know that that's another lyric, but is a bluebird traditionally associated with happiness? Are bluebirds the symbol of happiness? Bluebirds are often known as bluebirds of happiness, meaning they are generally associated with the concept of joy, happiness, and harmony. So there it is. So that's what Harry Carroll, the lyricist, Joseph McCarthy, that's what he was going for there. He never stopped searching. That's right. He never stopped searching for happiness in the form of a bluebird or whatever. But he says it's in vain. It doesn't work out. It's in vain. Now I want to look up Joseph McCarthy, not the U.S. Senator, the ignominious U.S. Senator who brought us the communist witch hunts and all that, and the House Un-American Activities Committee. Not that Joseph McCarthy. Joseph McCarthy, lyricist. He lived from 1885 to 1943. Oh my God, he wrote You Made Me Love You. He wrote those lyrics. He's from Somerville, Massachusetts. You made me love you. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. He also wrote So This Is London, Under Suspicion, Up the River, Incendiary Blonde, There's a Little Spark of Love Still Burning, They Go Simply Wild Over Me. They Go Wild, Simply Wild Over Me, 1917. All right, I don't know any of his other songs, but there he is. Joseph McCarthy, You Made Me Love You. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. That's a good song. You Made Me Love You. A popular song from 1913, composed by James Monaco with lyrics by Joseph McCarthy. Here, let's see the chords to that. That's a song I probably have to study, but I didn't want to do it. You made me want you, and all the time I knew it. I guess you always knew it. You made me happy sometimes. Sometimes you made me glad, but there were times, dear, you made me feel so bad. You made me sigh for, I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you. I want some loving, that's true. Yes, I do. Indeed, I do. You know I do. Gimme, gimme, gimme what I cry for. You know you got the brand of kisses that I'd die for. You know you made me love you. You made me sigh for, I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you. I want some loving, that's true. Gimme, 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 gimme. All right. Gimme, gimme, gimme. All right. I'm going to prepare that song for another show. So yes, that's definitely a song that needs the music. Yes. It doesn't necessarily hold up just as poetry or as pottery. It doesn't work well as pottery either. So yesterday on the show, or 2 days ago on the show, I mentioned that the ancient Romans were not ancient Romans to themselves. They were just Romans. And that we, similarly, are not ancient Americans. We're just Americans. But to future generations, we could be considered the ancient Americans. So we cut that minute out and made it into a TikTok. And I said to Ian, my friend who helps me with this, I said, are you sure that observation isn't just going to sound idiotic? It sounds sort of like something that you'd say when you're stoned. It's like an epiphany if you're high. Anyway, but it was fun. It's just sort of silly and fun. And we posted it. And sure enough, one of the first comments was, that's what I sound like when I'm high. And then another guy commented, he said, this guy just realized that there's a past, present, and a future. There were some funny comments. I'll leave it at that. But it was fun. It was a fun little experiment in just posting a silly idea. I had another important silly idea this evening that I'm going to be adding to the TikTok universe. Anyhow, Profound, exactly. It's not profound. It's like profound, like Jack Handy. Do you remember that guy? Jack Handy was Deep Thoughts. That was a bit on SNL back in the 80s or 90s. You would just hear it was sort of like Hallmark card font, and you would just hear the voiceover of, I think it was Phil Hartman's voice. I'm not sure, but it was observations that were pseudo profound. Yeah, they were brilliant. Deepities. I like that. Deepities. So my observation today that I was going to put on there, but I think we'll put it on tomorrow, is that, you know how entrepreneurs, they give elevator pitches. An entrepreneur has to be able to describe their business idea in the space of, however long it would take to ride up in an elevator with a potential investor. They call it the elevator pitch. You got to, you know, sculpt and then sharpen your pitch so you can explain your business idea to a potential investor in just like 30 seconds. That's your elevator pitch. So my point that I was making in this thing that we have not released to the world yet is that before Mr. Otis invented the elevator in 1854, thank you, Wikipedia. Actually, Otis, he's the guy who unveiled that invention in 1854. Otis. Before he unveiled that, entrepreneurs, they would give staircase pitches. Before the advent of the elevator, it was a staircase pitch, which was similar, but it was even more difficult because both the entrepreneur and the potential investor were slightly out of breath. That's my take on the elevator pitch before the invention of the elevator. Thank you. Oh, well, of course, Stephen Wright was the master of these sort of absurdist observations. Blue Lady says, a great year, 1854. Yeah, so I think some of those Stephen Foster songs that we've done on the show are 1854. Let's see, what are the hit songs of? Oh, well, let's actually look up Otis, 1854. Elisha Graves Otis. In 1853, he invented the safety device that prevents elevators from falling if the hoisting cable fails. He was born in Halifax, Vermont. He moved away. He settled in Troy, New York. He was employed as a wagon driver. He had 2 children. In 1834, so as just a 23-year-old, he had a terrible pneumonia which almost killed him. But he earned enough money to move his wife and 3-year-old son to the Vermont hills on the Green River. He designed and built his own grist mill, but didn't earn enough money from it, so he converted it into a sawmill. Still didn't attract new customers. Now with his second son, he started building wagons and carriages, at which he was fairly skilled. His wife later died, leaving Otis with 2 sons, one age 8 and one in infancy. Holy smokes. So Otis is having a rough go of it. He's in his 20s. Now he's a widower with 2 little kids. In 1845, he's now 34 years old. He moves to Albany. He works as a master mechanic in a bedstead factory. By 1852, he moved to Yonkers, New York, to work at the Mays and Burns bedstead factory. What is a bedstead? Those are just the stands at the end of the bed? A bedstead. Yeah, it's a bed frame. That's just a bed frame. That's all that is. All right. So at the factory in Yonkers, where he was working on beds, the factory needed a hoist to lift heavy equipment to the upper floor, but this posed serious safety issues. In response, Otis invented the safety elevator, which automatically comes to a halt if the hoisting rope breaks. The following year, he left the factory, started his own company. After giving a demonstration of the new invention at the New York Crystal Palace in 1854, demand began to rise. He installed the first safety elevator for passenger service at the E.V. Hogwood building in New York City in 1857. That's what happened. He got diphtheria at age 49. He was buried in Oakland Cemetery in Yonkers. So he had just 4 or 5 years of experiencing the success at the end there. Wow, at the end of his life. So the question is, when Otis himself had to pitch his business idea to investors, that was the original elevator pitch. That was the actual elevator pitch, which he did not pitch in an elevator, because the elevator pitch was in order to get money from the investors to start an elevator company with which he could have built the elevators. And once he was in the elevators, then he could have given an elevator pitch. Instead, he was giving a pitch about elevators, which is also an elevator pitch, but he was doing it on a staircase or just on flat ground. Wow. Yeah, very ambitious, and also necessity being the mother of invention. He moved because he became a widower and he had little kids. He was following the work. And then when the factory needed a lift, he invented one. Amazing. All right, Otis. All right. I remember when I was a kid, there was a sitcom in which a baby is born in an elevator. And then the big joke was that the mom names the kid Otis. I don't remember what sitcom it was, but I remember the joke. Good question. He pitched it in a Ferris wheel. Is that true? I don't know. Neuro asks, so how did it work? Side brakes that are prevented from springing out by the tension of the cable? Good question. I don't know, but the drawings, his original drawings, are right here on Wikipedia. So you can look at them and maybe figure it out if you have some technical aptitude. Oh, I wonder, is the date on there? Patent 1861. So this is a later, I guess, improvement. Cool. All right, Otis elevators. I didn't even get into the escalator pitch. The escalator pitch is much easier because you have a lot more time, it's slower, and no one gets out of breath. That's the escalator pitch. I was once riding an escalator in Lake Constance in Germany. It was like a shopping mall. I think it was 2010 or so. And at the top of the escalator, my flip-flop got caught and was getting sucked into the, where the stair goes underneath the landing. So my flip-flop somehow got bitten by the escalator and was getting sucked in. And I had to pull my foot out of my flip-flop. I feel like my whole body would have ended up in there. That was kind of a scary moment. I pulled it out, and then I had a flip-flop with like a bite taken out of it. Yeah, that was crazy. I wonder if that escalator didn't have the proper, I don't know, the proper safety mechanisms, or it was just a weird bit of chance. I get vertigo from watching a movie about mountain climbing. I get that also. I kind of like that. Well, this is a fun song we haven't done in a while. Gee, it's great after being out late, walking my baby back home. Arm in arm over meadow and farm, walking my baby back home. We go along harmonizing in song, or I'm reciting a poem. Hours go by and they give me the eye, walking my baby back home. We stop for a while, she gives me a smile and snuggles her head to my chest. We start into bed, that's when I get her powder all over my vest. After I kinda straighten my tie, she has to borrow my comb. One kiss, then I continue again, walking my baby back home. All right, that guy's walking his baby back home. That's by Roy Turk and Fred Allert. Walking my baby back home. I'm gonna check if that's public domain. It's from 1930, so it's probably just on the cusp. Walking my baby back home is public domain. There is heaps of music. That's not proper, but there is heaps of music published from the 20s right up to the mid 60s that is in the public domain. A good example is the works of Fred Allert. He wrote, I don't know, well, that didn't answer it. Is Walking My Baby Back Home public domain? It says when it was written. This is, it doesn't say if it's public domain. Interesting. La, 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 la. I'm going to say it is. That's my guess. Because it's almost 100 years old. We go along harmonizing in song, or I'm reciting a poem. Hours go by and they give me the eye, walking my baby back home. We stop for a while, she gives me a smile and snuggles her head to my chest. We start into bed, and that's when I get her powder all over my vest. Yes, Astral Shoals, I agree completely. There is a heap or there are heaps. Not there is heaps. There be heaps of music. I finished that book, by the way, Colson Whitehead, The Underground Railroad. I recommend it very highly. I give it top marks. It's kind of mind-blowing. It's kind of a counter history. Very engrossing, very moving, very inventive. I think it won some big awards. So that's my book tip for the night. The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. Yeah, it's really great. Mary, if you send me your address, I can just mail you my copy. How's that? I'll send it to you book rate. Just send me an address. It's all yours. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, you guys are talking about Dickens. Okay. Oh, Uriah Heep. Okay. Oh, are we talking about dream interpretation? There are several situations with different meanings. Basically, going up means good things coming your way. Going down maybe means a change in mood or a decline. Are we reading tea leaves or horoscopy? Is this horoscopy? Oh, we ain't got a barrel of money. Maybe we're ragged and funny, but we'll travel along, singing a song, side by side. Have another sip. I'll be here at 9 or 9:15 tonight, which was a rarity. I'll be here at 9 always, every night at 9 always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I will understand always, always. Days may not be fair always. That's when I'll be there always. Not just for an hour, not just for a day, not just for a year, but always every night at 9. 9-ish. No, it's 9. It's 9. Thanks. Thank you, everybody, for your eyes and your ears. And again, please check out the photo of, oh boy, I forgot his name. The photo of the composer. Oh, was it Harry Carroll? Yeah, Harry Carroll. Check out that photo of Harry Carroll on Wikipedia. Harry with 2 R's and Carroll with 2 R's and 2 L's. All right, everybody. Have a great night.